no shares are available for sale in KPC. So what are they selling? What are they selling? So why are they trying to privatize KPC as though it's a parastatal when KPC is a limited company under Cap 486 of the laws of Kenya? So it cannot be done just the way they're trying to do. So we're going to have a very, very dirty fight. We're going to go to the courts, and this is a matter we shall fight up to the Supreme Court. And anybody who thinks that they're going to privatize KPC today is dreaming. We are not going to allow that to happen. For some of us who would like to see a new dispensation take place in Kenya, we would like to see KPC negotiating, the Kenya government, instead of selling KPC, should be negotiating with Uganda for whale leaves to take that KPC to Kampala, negotiate with Rwanda and Burundi and those countries and Congo, take KPC up to Goma, so that we can dominate this market, we can provide service in hydrocarbons, not giving it to private individuals.
If you look at this decision to sell Kenya Pipeline is valued at 600 billion. It's being sold for 100 billion, you know? And the valuation has not included land in Mombasa that is worth about 40 billion. And this company is being bought by a Nigerian who is an in-law to President William Ruto. And that I know because I was there. And I had refused when the matter.
I want to thank Mbadi for bringing out some of the issues. Like he talked about selling some assets. Kenya Pipeline Corporation. The pipeline is underground from Mombasa to here. Even if you sell it, where is somebody taking it to? It remains very much an asset of Okiyah. It is just there on the ground. So somebody want to buy it, buy it. That is what Margaret...
Now, ladies and gentlemen, according to the clip that we have begun with, that is the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua speaking about the current sale of the Kenya Pipeline Company, the KPC, and also one senator of Busia County, Senator Okiyah Omtatah, also addressing the same issue. Now, allow me to sink deep into this scandal that is going to cost Kenyan taxpayers over billions and billions of shillings. About 1 month ago, in August, the High Court of Kenya halted the government plans to privatize the Kenya Pipeline Company, pending a determination of an application filed by the Consumer Federation of Kenya, COFEC. Justice Bahati Mwamuye issued the conservatory order following the transparency queries raised by COFEC. Now, that is what Justice Bahati Mwamuye did. About 5 days ago, the members of parliament in the current parliament, the MPs approved a seasonal paper on the privatization of the Kenya Pipeline Company, where the government will only retain a 35% ownership in the company, and the 65% will be sold to a private company. The company, according to Rigathi Gachagua, is linked to the son-in-law to President William Ruto, Alexander Ezenagu. And not only that, according to a video we did yesterday, it came to our attention that one PA to the president by the name of David Muge is behind the push of the sale of KPC, the Kenya Pipeline Company. Now, getting into details, the National Assembly 5 days ago approved the long-anticipated privatization of the Kenya Pipeline Company, KPC, setting in motion what could be the largest initial public offering in Nairobi in more than 2 decades. The Nairobi Assembly adopted Season Paper number 2 of 2025, which provides the policy framework for the partial divestment of KPC. Remember, I told you earlier that the High Court of Kenya had stopped this sale. But because there is a force in State House that is pushing for this sale, the National Assembly had to see it through, and now it is going to happen. Now, the move authorizes the government to sell up to 65% of its stake in the strategic petroleum transporter while retaining a minimum 35% holding. The Parliament directed that the valuation of KPC be disclosed in the IPO prospectus and supplemented by a simplified citizen-friendly report. Quoting what Mbandi said, listing KPC on the NSE will not only enable the company to raise capital for its regional expansion and LPG diversification plans, but also deepen our capital markets by providing more investment opportunities for Kenya. Now listen what I am going. Listen to this and listen to it very carefully. The sale of KPC, the Kenya Pipeline Company, is linked to one Raila Amolo Odinga, President William Ruto, President of Uganda Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and the former President of the Republic of Kenya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Now here is the deal. William Ruto's company, called Starbucks, Kalonzo leaked to us yesterday that that company is currently receiving products from Kenya Pipeline Company, petroleum products, which they are selling all over the country, and they are continuing their expansion all over the country right now. This is a petroleum company that is held by the President of the Republic of Kenya. On the other hand, you have heard that LPG, liquid gas, diversification plans are going to be expanded. Now, this is a business that one Raila Amolo Odinga is mostly invested in. He is the sole seller and provider of liquid gas in the country. He is the largest even in East Africa. His family business is the largest in supply of gas. In Uganda, the reason Museveni is linked to this is because his country, the largest supplier of petroleum there is none other than Starbucks International Company. In the country, also, Rubis, which is linked to the Kenyatta family, is also getting a share out of this sale of the Kenya Pipeline Company. I have said once and again, even the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, Madam A.G. Dorcas Oduor, had halted the sale of KPC. She had stopped it. But the PA to the President, David Muge, called her. It is said that she told her, if you're not going to push this sale and you're not going to sign on the sale of KPC, be ready to get out of that office, because we cannot have somebody that is sabotaging us. I remind you that a few months ago, you had Raila Amolo Odinga authorizing body to push on the sale of KPC, saying that Kenya Pipeline, there are pipelines that are buried underground in Kenya, and even if they are sold, they will not go anywhere. Yes, whatever nonsense he said. But he was trying to push the agenda of selling the company because he himself is getting something out of it. And allow me to tell you, these companies that are being sold, they're being sold to private entities who will own these companies not for the next 5 years, not for the next 10 years, but for the next 30 years. I mean, we all wonder, what is it with President William Ruto in selling the assets of the people of the Republic of Kenya, because the man has tried so much to sell most of our assets. Ulimsikia ndio huyo alijaribu kuuza Kenya Airport, JKA, akajaribu kuuza Kentraco, akajaribu kuuza sahii wanauza Kenya, wameuza already the Kenya Portland Cement ya Mombasa, ndio wanauza sasa Kenya Pipeline Company. I mean, what next? Waliuza Bomas of Kenya, as Gachagua said. What next are they going to sell? Now, the season of let's speak about the safeguards and the oversight of the said sale of the Kenya Pipeline Company. The season of paper lays out strict conditions designed to protect public interest. The Office of the Auditor General must audit the process within 6 months of completion. Transaction advisors capped at a fee of Kenya shillings 100 million must be competitively procured with Treasury approval for any increase. To prevent excessive concentration of ownership, the Privatization Commission must impose shareholding limits, safeguard against insider dominance, and ensure broad-based of local participation. Kenya's citizens, including youth, women, and persons with disabilities, are to be given priority allocation under a new employee share ownership plan and minimum retail investor quotas. Subsidiaries such as Kenya Petroleum Refineries Limited must also be fully evaluated and disclosed in the prospectus. Parliament further insisted that the contingent liabilities be transparently factored into the valuation. This includes pending lawsuits amounting to 5.75 billion, Makueni County compensation claims worthy 3.8 billion, project losses and disputes such as the Mzima Pipeline and Line V, and disputed LPG facility transfers valued at 192.6 million. Now, the market context and the risk. The privatization plan comes against a backdrop of physical procedure and renewed privatization policy. The government expects to raise about 100 billion Kenyan shillings, which is equal to 1.5 billion US dollars. From the share sale, proceeds earmarked for development spending, pending bills, or debt management. Early in 2025, the cabinet approved the transaction, but the process was briefly halted in August when a court injunction froze the sale after a suit by the Consumers Federation of Kenya. The injunction was lifted in September, clearing the way for the parliamentary debate. Lawmakers' approval now advances the process, though opponents have threatened new legal charges, citing rushed debate and inadequate scrutiny. That is where even one Okiyah Omtatah has gone ahead now to start suing the government of the day. The offering is expected to be Kenya's first major IPO in more than a decade and is seen as a test of investor confidence in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, which has rallied in 2025. Yet, significant uncertainties remain. Market appetite amid high interest rates, litigation risk, valuation disputes, and concerns that privatization could raise fuel transport tariffs. The House is also considering the Privatization Bill 2025, which aims to overhaul the legal frameworks for divestment. If enacted, it will govern KPC's IPO and subsequent state sell downs. I mean, hii ikifanyika, mtakuwa mnaamka tu mnasikia kampuni gani na gani zimeuzwa nchini Kenya. Kampuni hii na hii zishaenda, kampuni hii na hii zishaenda. The trajectory that we are going down as a republic, it's high time now we sit down and think. For now, all I ask of you is to leave a comment on what you think about the sale of the Kenya Pipeline Company. Unasikia kijana wa rais, the son-in-law to the president, Alexander Ezenago from the Nigeria, is the man behind this buyout. Wewe, maoni yako ni yapi?